Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief program. Today, we have some intriguing stories lined up for you. First up, China has made some serious accusations against Britain's MI6, claiming that they have recruited two Chinese officials as spies. The couple, known only as Wang and Zhou, are now under investigation, adding fuel to the already tense relations between China and Britain over espionage allegations. Next, the Hong Kong Observatory has issued an amber rainstorm signal this morning, warning residents of potential flooding in low-lying areas. The heavy rain and thundery showers are expected to continue, so make sure to take necessary precautions if you're in the affected areas. And finally, there's some good news for investors. Hong Kong stocks have experienced their largest jump in a month, driven by a positive report on the services sector in mainland China. The Hang Seng Index surged by 2.5%, with tech giants Alibaba and Tencent leading the charge. Please stay tuned for more details on these stories. Nikkei Asia reports that China has accused Britain's MI6 of recruiting two Chinese state employees as spies. According to China's State Security Ministry, the suspects, a married couple, were lured by MI6 with promises of high monetary rewards and security. The husband, surnamed Wang, was initially approached during his studies in the UK in 2015, where he was enticed through dinners and tours arranged by MI6. His strong desire for money made him susceptible to recruitment. After receiving espionage training, Wang was tasked with collecting sensitive information upon his return to China. MI6 allegedly persuaded Wang to recruit his wife, who worked at a core government unit, by offering double the money. Both are now under investigation as China and Britain continue to trade espionage accusations. The South China Morning Post reports that the Hong Kong Observatory issued an amber rainstorm signal on Monday morning, warning of potential flooding in low-lying areas. The signal, indicating that heavy rain exceeding 30 mm per hour is expected, was issued at 10:10 a.m., following a thunderstorm warning earlier at 7:25 a.m. The observatory explained that a broad trough of low pressure was causing thundery showers in western Guangdong and the Pearl River estuary area. Additionally, a strong easterly airstream was affecting the eastern Guangdong coast. Residents in flood-prone areas were advised to take precautions to minimize risks posed by the heavy rainfall and potential flooding. In another report by the South China Morning Post, Hong Kong police have arrested 3 men in connection with the mishandling of an unconscious man who was later declared dead. The incident occurred when a passerby found the man, believed to be in his 20s and smelling of alcohol, lying in a trolley outside the Merit Industrial Center in Kowloon. The man was transported to Queen Elizabeth Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Security footage revealed that the suspects, who lived in a flat in the building, had used the trolley to dump the unconscious man outside. The 3 men were arrested on charges of preventing the lawful burial of a body, and a post-mortem examination is being arranged to determine the cause of death. South China Morning Post. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong's iconic cable car attraction, Gongping 360, has recovered to 95% of its pre-pandemic business levels, largely driven by a surge in tourism from Southeast Asia. James Tung Puichin, the new managing director, noted that while visitors from Europe and North America are still below pre-pandemic numbers, the strong recovery from countries like the Philippines and Thailand has been pivotal. The Philippines, in particular, has become a crucial market, with visitor numbers up 107% and surpassing 2018 levels. The attraction has also seen a rise in ticket revenue, thanks to the popularity of premium offerings like the Crystal Plus cabins, which feature transparent floors and walls. Gongping 360 plans to expand its fleet of Crystal Plus cabins and introduce themed experiences to attract more visitors. The tourism board's statistics support this growth, showing a significant increase in Filipino tourists. Tung remains optimistic that as flight capacities improve, long-haul visitors will return, further boosting the attraction's recovery. South China Morning Post. The CIC Global Construction Robotic Day event highlighted the growing trend of robotics in the construction industry, showcasing over 200 robots currently in use on Hong Kong sites. The event aimed to deepen industry professionals' understanding of robotics' potential to enhance productivity, efficiency, quality, sustainability, and safety. It also fostered partnerships between construction firms and robotic solution providers. The conference featured experts from around the world, discussing the latest advancements and practical applications of robotics in construction. Keynote speakers emphasized the importance of technological innovation and the need for multidisciplinary collaboration to advance the sector. The event also included an exhibition where leading suppliers displayed cutting-edge robotic solutions for various construction tasks, from interior finishing to facade cleaning. The CIC plans to continue promoting the adoption of construction robots, anticipating that future jobs will involve human-robot collaboration and offering training courses to support this transition. The goal is to position Hong Kong as a hub for construction robotic technologies and drive industry-wide transformation. Associated Press. As the 35th anniversary of Beijing's Tiananmen Square crackdown approached, Rowena He, a scholar of the tragic event, traveled extensively across the United States, Britain, and Canada to give talks, aiming to speak for those silenced in mainland China. The 1989 crackdown, where government troops opened fire on student-led pro-democracy protesters, resulting in hundreds, if not thousands, of deaths, remains a taboo subject in China. In Hong Kong, known for its annual June 4th vigil, commemorations have been stifled due to a clampdown on dissidents following the 2019 protests. Despite losing her academic position in Hong Kong, he remains committed to keeping the memory alive globally. Overseas events such as talks, rallies, exhibitions, and plays have become crucial in preserving the memories of the crackdown, counteracting efforts to erase them, particularly in Hong Kong where commemorative statues have been removed and organizers charged with subversion. He, who was a 17-year-old protester in 1989, recalls the survivors' guilt and the need to recite the government's narrative to pass exams. A museum dedicated to the Tiananmen crackdown opened in New York last June, featuring exhibits like a blood-stained shirt and a protest tent, attracting around 1,000 visitors. Efforts to preserve these memories are seen as crucial, especially as young people in China use VPNs to access information online. Al Jazeera. In New York City, Zhou Fengxua, a former student leader from the 1989 Tiananmen protests, was stunned to see the mimeograph machine he used to spread pro-democracy messages now displayed in the June 4th Memorial Museum. Zhou, who fled China after the crackdown, helped establish the museum in New York after the one in Hong Kong was shut down in 2021. The museum, located in Manhattan, has received various artifacts, including a blood-splattered blouse, protest leaflets, and a tent used by newlywed protesters in Tiananmen Square. Zhou, jailed for a year in China for his involvement in the protests, now helps Hong Kong protesters who fled to the U.S. The museum also features exhibits on the 2019 Hong Kong protests, designed by a protester who fled to New York. Despite facing challenges like sexual harassment accusations against one of its founders, Wang Dan, and limited operational hours, the museum continues to serve as a vital repository of memories. Andrew Nathan, a sinologist at Columbia University, emphasized the museum's role in keeping the memories alive, as there is nothing else quite like it. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong police have warned of a new trend where scammers target victims who have already been cheated, luring them into further swindles under the guise of recovering lost funds. Superintendent Baron Chan Shunqing highlighted the rise of fake companies claiming to be private investigators or legal service providers, exploiting victims' desperation to defraud them again. This year, 6 such cases have been reported, with losses exceeding 8 million Hong Kong dollars. Online fraud cases in Hong Kong have surged, with 7,596 cases reported from January to March, a 3.2% increase from the same period last year, and total losses rising to 1.62 billion Hong Kong dollars. Investment scams and account hijacks have particularly increased, with significant financial losses. Scammers create sham websites appearing as top search results, directing victims to fraudulent platforms. One victim, Chan, lost over 600,000 Hong Kong dollars in an online shopping scam and was further scammed by a fake recovery service, losing an additional 210,000 Hong Kong dollars. Clinical psychologist Michael Fung Ho Kin noted that previously defrauded individuals remain vulnerable to further scams due to their mental anguish and urgency to recover lost funds. Police urge residents to verify information and approach legitimate legal services for asset recovery. Yahoo US, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga managed to cling to the top spot at the South Korea weekend box office for the second consecutive week, narrowly outpacing the new local crime drama, The Plot. Despite the modest $8.91 million total weekend revenue, Furiosa pulled in $2.24 million, bringing its 12-day cumulative to $7.90 million. The Plot, which centers on a gang that orchestrates murders to appear as accidents, earned $1.39 million over the weekend. Meanwhile, Following held steady in third place, and The Roundup, Punishment slipped to fourth, with cumulative earnings of $78.1 million. Japanese animation Haikyuu. The Dumpster Battle and American animation The Garfield Movie also made the top 10, though their revenues showed a decline. Overall, the Korean cinema market is slowly recovering post-COVID, with a 9% gain over 2023 but still lagging behind pre-pandemic levels. South China Morning Post. A week ago, Doraemon fans of all ages flocked to Tsim Sha Tsui Promenade to witness a dazzling 1,000 drone light show over Victoria Harbour, the world's first Doraemon-themed drone spectacle. This event was a teaser for next month's Doraemon exhibition in Hong Kong, featuring 135 never-before-seen sculptures and interactive installations. Organized by All Rights Reserved, the event exemplifies how to generate excitement and anticipation for large-scale events. The meticulous planning included surprise pop-up events and strategic releases of information, culminating in a massive turnout. Lam Shu Kam, the mastermind behind the event, has a history of successful large-scale art installations, making him a key figure for Hong Kong's ambition to become a mega events hub. The government's collaboration with creative professionals like Lam is crucial for hosting memorable and culturally rich events, moving beyond mere Instagrammable moments to create lasting experiences for locals and visitors alike. South China Morning Post. As world number 1 in women's épée, Vivian Kong Man Wai is gearing up for the Paris Olympics with a focus on maintaining her composure and health. Hong Kong head coach Octavian Zadaru emphasized that Kong's top ranking does not add extra pressure, given her experience and maturity. Kong, who debuted at the Rio Olympics in 2016 and reached the quarterfinals in Tokyo, has had a mixed season with victories in Barcelona, Fujairah, and Doha but also early exits in Nanjing and Cali. Zadaru's strategy is to treat the Olympics like any other competition, focusing on each touch and maintaining a normal training routine. Kong will use the upcoming Asian Championships in Kuwait City as a final rehearsal, aiming to refine newly learned skills and study her competitors. The International Fencing Federation has also announced that Hong Kong will host 2 World Cup events in the 2024-25 season and the World Championships in 2026, further solidifying its position in the global fencing community. The Sydney Morning Herald reports that a Hong Kong-based returning expat purchased a 1970s-style home in Baldwin North for $2.3 million to secure a spot in the coveted Baldwin High School zone. The 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom property, described as a time capsule from the 1970s, drew significant interest due to its prime location and substantial 708 square meter block. The auction saw fierce competition among 7 bidders, including expats from Hong Kong and Dubai. The home, previously untouched for half a century, was given a fresh coat of paint and new carpets before hitting the market. The final sale price exceeded the reserve of $2 million, highlighting the strong demand for properties in this desirable school zone. The auction was part of a busy weekend in Melbourne, with a preliminary auction clearance rate of 65.4% recorded by Domain Group. The South China Morning Post highlights insights from Audrielle Chan, a trustee of the Better Hong Kong Foundation, on Europe's business leaders' approach to engaging with China amid concerns about Russia's influence. Chan, who recently visited Europe, noted that European leaders are increasingly willing to cooperate with China as a counterbalance to Russia. Despite the ongoing conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza, European stakeholders recognize China's importance to the global and their local economies. However, they are cautious about making significant new investments until these conflicts and domestic political shifts stabilize. The European Commission is expected to announce a decision on countervailing duties on Chinese-made electric vehicles soon, which could impact future trade relations. Chan emphasized that large corporations remain committed to the Chinese market despite a slight slowdown in domestic consumption, viewing it as a temporary phase in the macroeconomic cycle. In another report by the South China Morning Post, Hong Kong residents are facing the first rise in water charges in nearly 30 years due to increasing deficits and rising operational costs. The Water Supplies Department has not set a date for the increase but has been consulting with various industry representatives since last month. The last review of water charges was conducted in January, with results expected within 1 to 2 months. The department adheres to the user pays principle and aims to recover costs while considering public affordability and socioeconomic conditions. Water charges have been frozen since 1995, and the number of users has grown from 2.2 million to 3.2 million, necessitating expanded water facilities. The department plans to adjust fees gradually to minimize the impact on users and will continue to engage with trade groups and stakeholders before any changes are implemented. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.